listening to the DC area and wondering what different kinds of neighborhoods are in DC, Maryland, and Virginia? Well, today I'm going to break down the 5 levels of neighborhood in the metro area. All right, if you're new here, I am Melissa Terzis, DC real estate mama, and I'm a realtor in Metro Washington, DC, to include Maryland and Virginia. I talk everything about moving to and living in and buying houses in DC. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, because it does help the channel grow. Now, almost every type of neighborhood can be found here, so it really is important to know the options. So let's dive in. Level 1 neighborhoods. I'm going to call these wait and watch. There's always going to be neighborhoods in the wait and watch classification. Then development comes, and then sometimes the neighborhood takes off. Sometimes it doesn't. Why wouldn't it take off, Melissa? Well, all right, crime, poor schools, low buy-in from residents. These are some of the toughest neighborhoods in DC, but buyers land here when they're tired of renting and when they can't afford a house in the neighborhood maybe where they are renting. So a lot of these might be what you would call like first-time buyer neighborhoods potentially. People want to buy an actual house, they come to some of these places. All right, Deanwood. So Deanwood is east of the river. You've got lower prices, but there's still very uneven development and it's still kind of evolving. If you buy here, you have to plan for a long-term hold. Another neighborhood east of the river is Congress Heights. This has kind of been touted as like the up-and-comer, but I'm gonna say don't buy here unless you really know what you're doing. Next one, Trinidad. So gentrification is definitely real in Trinidad, but there are going to be times where there's momentum to that and then times where things seem to fall back to the days of higher crime. So post-COVID, it got hit a little bit harder. Things might be sitting on the market longer there. I had a client recently looking and we were pricing out some comps and there's a lot for sale there right now. And so when times get a little bit tougher, these are the neighborhoods that are getting hit harder. Another one is Columbia Heights. It used to be one of the it spots. Now it's like crowded. There's more crime complaints and resale is actually a lot trickier. Level 2 neighborhoods. I'm gonna call these flashy but fraught. These neighborhoods are great for city dwellers who have a high tolerance for noise, that speed of life, and sometimes the street crime. Adams Morgan and Logan Circle are 2 good examples, both beautiful but very condo heavy. There's minimal yard space. These are areas where the nightlife actually outranks people that want like quiet and nap time. Noma, Navy Yard, The Wharf, the development money poured into these neighborhoods. They are like all sizzle. Lots of rental buildings, high fees. New doesn't always mean better. Don't rent or buy here from afar. You need to see these neighborhoods to be assured that they're going to work for you. Another one here might be downtown Silver Spring. So the downtown area of Silver Spring has had several facelifts. It's gritty but busy, and it's filled with shopping and restaurants and live music. The Metro means that this is a great option for anybody who commutes via the Red Line, and soon the Purple Line will be complete. Level 3 neighborhoods. I'm gonna call these energetic and enduring. They have the staying power. So you've got Capitol Hill, the historic core. Think about Eastern Market, the charming row homes, parks everywhere, strong community vibe. People hang out on their front porch. They have little porch fests. They chat over their fences. This is like quintessential DC. Another neighborhood I would call energetic and enduring is the downtown portion of Bethesda. So some people may not think of Bethesda as energetic, but it is currently going through a huge redevelopment and there's a lot happening here. So between downtown Bethesda and then Pike and Rose, which is up the street in North Bethesda, Bethesda is building itself right into a little destination and kind of like the Maryland answer to Tyson's. Arlington is another one. Arlington has a few different personalities. The neighborhoods of Roslyn, Clarendon, and Ballston have a lot of activity, restaurants, retail, foot traffic. Another one here, Old Town Alexandria. So people love the charm, and Old Town is dripping with charm. There are awesome restaurants and great shops and such a cool historic old Virginia atmosphere that Old Town like really draws people in. They come here, they see it, they love it. DuPont Circle, one of the oldest and most charming neighborhoods in DC. Proximity to downtown and consistent interest from potential buyers and tenants make this a staple in the lineup of DC neighborhoods. All right, next level of neighborhood, I'm gonna call it solid and stable. So here's where we're gonna start to see the suburbs hit the list. These are the tried and true, proven neighborhoods. The resale value holds, but there's no wild increases year over year. The infrastructure's in place here. There's no transient vibe here. You're gonna know your neighbors. You're not gonna be chasing the next cool restaurant that opened in your neighborhood because it's not going to open in your neighborhood. It's probably gonna open at the wharf, and then you're gonna be going down there. So first up here in solid and stable is gonna be AU Park and Tenleytown. So think of like tree-lined streets, metro accessible, top schools. That's AU Park in Tenleytown. Still got a city vibe to it a little bit. This is the suburbs in the city though. You can walk over to Wisconsin Avenue and hit the library, Target, the Container Store, all my favorites. There's also restaurant options there. People tend to stay and the sense of community is strong. This is like move up buyer gold here. Another one here is going to be Cleveland Park. You've got big yards here, historic homes, a real neighborhood feel. Walkable to Metro, yes, but also peaceful. The library was recently renovated and is a great centerpiece of the neighborhood. Then you've got Chevy Chase, DC. It feels like a suburb with sidewalks, but you're still in the city. Schools are great. Access to Rock Creek Park is easy, and you are just over the border from Maryland. Glover Park is another one here. Tight community, great schools, near Georgetown without the pretension of Georgetown. Good value if you don't need a metro right at your doorstep, but you can hop on the bus and get to a metro. Next up here is north, like the northern part of North Arlington. So once you head north from the hustle and bustle of Roslyn, Clarendon, and Ballston, you are going to find the leafy parts of suburban Arlington, and that is going to fit right here as well. Another one, Vienna, Virginia. So Vienna is an adorable suburb that feels like a television show's hometown. Tell me what you love about Vienna.
Well, I love Fresh Market because it's great. But,
yeah.
You know, I live right on the this side of it. You know, it's just a quaint little town. You know, it's perfect.
That's awesome. The downtown area has a lot of restaurants and retail. The schools are great, and the sense of community very strong here as well. Next up is Burke and West Springfield. These two areas are so close to each other and similar, so they're worth packaging together. They're kind of like the quintessential suburbs, but they're more affordable compared to many of the other areas. You can still actually get a house here for under $1 million. And I realize the absurdity of calling something like at or just under $1 million affordable is kind of like a slap in the face. That's just where our prices are here. All right, the fifth level of home I'm going to call luxurious and lavish. You are not just pre-rich, but you have arrived, my friend. And these are the neighborhoods that let others know it. These people own multiple homes, and they paid more for their country club initiation fee than you probably did for college. McLean. You would be lucky to get in for under $2 million. Not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult. If you find a house that's been renovated and doesn't need work, you will probably have to have over $2.5 million. Another one here is Bethesda. So we already talked about the downtown of Bethesda and all the development that's happening, but all the neighborhoods that are surrounding downtown are in like another league. Bethesda's been Maryland's ground zero for that teardown and McMansion frenzy for pretty much decades. It's not going to be long before all these 40s and 50s houses are, you know, torn down and turned into big mansions as well. And then we have Potomac. So Potomac is Maryland's answer to McLean. Big houses, big lots, a walk score of 0 because everything is so spread out that you're gonna have to use your car for everything. You are also going to lose power in storms because the trees are gonna crash through your power lines, and you will also be keeping up with the Joneses. Except that, wait, you actually, if you live here, you probably already are the Joneses. So that's my breakdown of the different levels of neighborhood here. If you have any questions, my contact info is coming next.